Many thanks again for rejoining us on the program this morning on ITV, on the ITV network. We'll get into our discussion segment, and I've got Fares Okbari, who is the Deputy Director in charge of new media in the PDP Campaign Council for Edo 2024. We've got another person from the APC who is a member of the media team, Dr. Andrew Omosafe, also joining us. Dr. Andrew, thanks a lot for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
We're seeing a change, in a sense, in the conversations around Edo 2024 governorship election. We thought that the overriding interest would be that the campaigns will be based on issues. But we're seeing today that that's, being displaced with personal attacks in this campaign. For example, in social media or on social media, there's a video circulating in which your principal or one of your leaders, specifically Senator Oshiomhole, was castigating the wife of the state governor in a way that has been described as unacceptable for a man of his status. How did we get here?
Okay, I for one, I am a person that do not subscribe to personal attacks. I do not subscribe to violence. I do not subscribe to a situation where you abandon the issues and you begin to castigate the opponent and all of that. Because I believe that if one must participate in politics, one must participate in elections, you must do so in such a way that you do not constitute a problem to your opponent. Yeah, politics is a game of interest, and as Machiavelli would say, that the end justifies the means. However, as far as I'm concerned, if we must achieve the end, then the means through which we achieve that end must be one that guarantees equity, that guarantees fairness, and that ensures that all who are involved, will be seen to have participated in such a way that the people will be happy. And one of the issues that contributes to voter apathy, in elections, are issues of this kind, where people, will get fed up with the entire system and we choose not to vote on election day. And so when you see a very large margin or high margin, between those who register to vote and those who end up voting on election day, you can easily trace it to election violence and all of the issues. But if you want me to comment on that video that you're talking about, I am one person too who also believe that if you live in glass houses, do not throw stones. If you do not want people to attack you, don't attack others. It's saddening, to now see a situation where we are now mocking each other with issues of life. And those who have experienced temptation in life before, we know that you do not mock people with their problems, with their temptations. It's so unfortunate that we are getting to this scenario.
Okay. Let me pause you there, Dr. Omosafe. I'll come back to you because I know Fares is pressed for time. Thought we would have started this interview much earlier. But Fares, let's get your perspectives on this issue.
I feel very sad to say that that video of a former governor of the state, Comrade Oshiomhole, bringing himself to the level where he has to make such kind of very denigrating statement against the wife of the current governor is nothing but shameful. Comrade Oshiomhole, as a former governor, supposed to be an elder statesman. If you look at other governors who were former governors, who were governors of their state before, they've transformed from former governors into elder statesmen. It's only Oshiomhole who have remained in this kind of politics, who have remained at this level, of playing this kind of very dirty politics. He's not a candidate in this election. He's not the candidate of the election. He's not the spokesperson of the campaign for the APC, but has continued to throw jibes at everybody, has continued to drag the political system to a point where that the issues are no longer important to him, because if the issues are important, we would have stuck with the issues. What the PDP have been asking for is an open debate between the candidates, where the APC candidate and the PDP candidate and the Labour candidate can come out and express their views and express their opinion and sell their manifesto to Edo people. But Adams Oshiomhole, knowing fully well that the APC have presented a candidate that lacks the intellectual capacity to engage, know that the only way they can talk is to drag the issues into the gutter and raise issues that are non-important. What did the wife of the governor say in that rally? She never attacked anybody. She never attacked the candidate of the APC. What she said in that rally was that women should vote for the candidate that it's only the PDP candidate that currently has a wife. He never at any point mentioned the name of anybody. He never attempted, there are 19 candidates in this election. He never mentioned the name of anybody. All she said was that the PDP candidate was the one who has a wife. And if you have a wife, that the wife can attract things to women. And for that reason, she was employing women to vote for the PDP candidate. There was nowhere she mentioned Adams Oshiomole's name. There was nowhere she mentioned the name of the candidate of the APC. Only for Adams Oshiomhole to come out on TVC the next day and make such statements. Such statements should not be coming out from the mouth of a man who is a former governor of a state. It shouldn't be coming out from the mouth of somebody who has held the highest office in this state. It shows that Adams Oshiomhole is not ready. Is not ready to go into the arena of those who can be called elder statesmen. Look at John Odige Oyegu today. You won't see him. He is a member of the APC. You won't see him make such statements. You won't see him make. You look at you won't see him make such statement. It's only Adams Oshiomhole who has bluntly refused to step up his game, to move into the arena of elder statesmen. He continues to bring himself to the level where people who are not supposed to be talking to him will not be making jabs at him. He has to understand that Edo politics is not a policy of the people. The people matter more. And what we are saying is that bring your candidate out. Let your candidate come and speak to Edo people. Adams Oshiomhole is not the candidate of the APC. Adams Oshiomhole cannot come get a third term through the back door. He has had his time as governor. He should exit the stage and let those who is their turn, let them speak for themselves.
Okay, thank you, Fares. I'll come back to you in a short while. But let me get to Dr. Mosafe. Dr. Mosafe, I've heard people say all that is happening now is your party's strategy to distract attention away from the core issues of engagement in terms of policies, programs, projects, agenda, and manifesto of your party, which some say is not in any way available. I'd like to get your reaction to this.
Okay, first off, let me make it categorically clear here that I never wanted to actually delve into the issues, because I do not like to, go into people's personal lives, especially when you now start talking of, their marital issues or issues of whether their ability to have children and all of that. It's not something that I usually enjoy, discussing. But since Fares has brought it to the limelight, I'll put it this way. It is on record that the PDP has been the ones that have been engaging in a campaign of calumny right from the beginning of the campaigns. From the narratives, the very, odious and mischievous narratives that my candidate doesn't know how to speak English, my candidate cannot address the public, my candidate cannot do this and that. All of those narratives that they pushed to Edo people in an attempt to get Edo people, to see my candidate as someone that is incompetent. But in all of this, you could see that my candidate has since dispelled, all this by facing Edo people one-on-one, going to the villages, going to the urban centers, you know, to the semi-urban centers, you know, talking to them and trying to convince them, you know, on why he's the best candidate. Senator Monday Okpebholo has always stick to the issues. He has never, for once, veered off the issues to start attacking personal candidates. Until the First Lady herself yesterday, or day before yesterday, appeared in a video and said that he didn't say the others. Fares is being economical with the truth. If you watch that video, I'm sure you have it there, you can play it. He said the other two candidates, who are the other two candidates that she was referring to? He was referring to Senator Monday Okpebholo and Barrister Olumide Akpata, and that the other two do not have wives. She was literally mocking them with their marital issues, you know, trying to tell Edo that people who do not have wives are not human beings and cannot and are not worthy, you know, to be seen as human beings, trying to degrade them in all forms. In fact, let me tell you the truth, Sonny Duke and Edo people. People have issues in life. Nobody is free of issues. Nobody is free of temptations. You do not have the right to mock anybody with their temptations, with their issues of life. You do not mock people. You know, it is so disheartening, so saddening when people start mocking others. I have had my issues in life. I have had my own personal temptations. And will I be okay when people start mocking me with my personal issues of life? Do you know what may have transpired, you know, in those situations where marriages break down for several reasons, you know? So when marriages break down irretrievably, you do not also, you know, encourage both parties to remain, you know, in marriages, especially when it becomes toxic. So you do not mock people with their issues of life. Our manifesto is out there. People are, in fact, we have been selling our manifestos to Edo people. We have been going to the villages. As I speak to you now, I'm preparing for a campaign. We are on the move. The other day we are at Enyan, you know, we are at Oshiomhole. We are going to the places where people will hear us, where people will speak to us, will listen to us.
Dr. Mosafe, let me just quickly stop you there. Let me pause you there, Dr. Mosafe. Yeah. Let me pause you there. Now, you started by saying that the PDP, you know, started a campaign of calumny against your party and your principal by saying that he doesn't know how to speak English, he's not articulate, and all of that. It's on record that your candidate remains the only candidate that is yet to engage any media on a direct one-on-one interview. That's on record. I mean, when we have that kind of scenario, doesn't it have far-reaching implication? But I will get you to react to that in a moment. But let me get Fares, since he's already on standby, to look at the fact that with this dimension of conversation, is this not distracting the people from the core issues as far as Edo State election is concerned? The issue of insecurity, the issue of infrastructure, the issue of revenue, the issue of health, education, and so many others.
Yes, Sonny, thank you very much. You see that these issues are germane, and you know, from the beginning of the campaigns, you know, our candidates have come out clearly to talk about the issues. You know, his manifesto of hope is there, prosperity for all Edo people is out there, and he has. If you notice, you see that our candidate has focused on the issues since when he started this race in November of last year. He has focused on the issues. That's what he has always done. You know, what we've seen is that because the APC have presented a candidate who lacks the intellectual capacity to engage, the proxies who are speaking for him, you know, because he has avoided every opportunity to engage Edo people, every opportunity to engage the media. You know, that's not far-fetched. The reason is because he doesn't have the intellectual capacity to engage the media. So for that reason, the proxies who speak for him, you know, the likes of Adams Oshiomhole and others who come in to speak for him, do not even know what to say. And then they come out and they want to do mudsliding. You know, all they do is mudsliding. And like my brother said just now, he said that the PDP have tried to present the APC candidate as incompetent. No, the PDP is not presenting the APC candidate as incompetent. The APC candidate is grossly incompetent and should have no business contesting elections in Edo State. You know, a man who does not have the know-how. He can't even address his own people. He can't come out in the media to articulate his ideas. He does not have any business contesting elections. What we've seen here is that with a few godfathers who think that they can control the state and want to impose a candidate who lacks the intellectual capacity, to engage other people. And that's what the APC is pushing. And then because Edo people are not buying that message, they now resort to mudsliding, calling of names. The wife of the governor, at no point did she ever mention the name of anybody in that video. The video is out there. You can go and see for yourself. And secondly, when he says that, we are Edo people. We are Edo people, and you see, marriage is an important thing. It shows responsibility. When you are a married man, it shows that you are a responsible person. You understand? And even in Edo, in most cultures in Edo, when they want to give you chieftaincy title, they ask that they make sure that you are married before they give you that chieftaincy title, because they don't want to give you a title to somebody who they feel that is irresponsible, because marriage presents you as a very responsible person. When you are married, it shows people that you are responsible. If you can manage a wife, it means that you are a responsible man. And secondly, even the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor in the eyes of the Lord. That's what the Bible says. And the same Bible says that children are gifts from God. Children are gifts from God. So if you can't find a wife, it means that you have not found favor in the eyes of the Lord. And for that reason, you have no business in contesting elections in Edo State. You have no business in trying to be the leader of the state when you can't even lead a home.
All right, Fares, I didn't know you were a pastor because some messages and scriptural references coming from you. But let me get, for Dr. Mosafe, I raised the issue earlier before I had to get Fares in, which has to do with the statement that you made earlier that the PDP went ahead with a campaign of columning and all of that against your party, and that seems to be a major challenge. But we hope Dr. Mosafe can get back to us. But Fares, let me get back to you quickly as we anchor this conversation, because I know you are headed for one of your campaign venues. Let's just quickly anchor. Yeah.
So you see, Sonny would like a situation. You throw up a challenge recently. I saw the video on social media where you challenged, over the weekend, you challenged the PDP candidate, the APC candidate, and the Labour candidate to come to ITV and express their views freely, and then you were offering to give time 20 minutes each to all the candidates to come and express their views. You know that our candidate has been to ITV more than 5 times, both on ITV radio, on the TV himself. He has come there several times. Somebody who wants to lead, if you have the ideas, if you have the vision for your people, and you have the plans, you should not be hiding from the media. You can come out and articulate your ideas and express your opinions and express your vision and your plans and sell it out to the people. And the media is a very important tool for politics. You cannot be running, you cannot be playing politics and running from the media. It doesn't work. And we've seen it over and over again. We saw it with Buhari in 2015. He avoided the media, he avoided debate, he avoided everything because he has nothing to offer Nigerians. And then when he came, what happened? Nigeria took a nosedive, economically and otherwise. And then we saw it again in 2023. Tinubu came in, avoided the media, avoided debate, avoided everything because he had nothing to tell Nigerians. At the end of the day, where's Nigeria today? I bought petrol this morning, 1,000 naira a liter. That's what it cost me to buy fuel. And Sonny, do you know that, because of all this kind of mismanagement of the economy, mismanagement of the country, Nigeria is now worse off because of the incompetence of the APC. The incompetence of people who have no business in governance. And then they come again in Edo, they presented a candidate that lacks the intellectual capacity to engage Edo people, a candidate that does not know the difference between a zoo and a museum. That kind of person should have no business even contesting any elections. In fact, the APC should be going around house to house, apologizing to Nigerians, apologizing to Edo people for mismanaging the country. I can tell you, Sonny, that in 2014, it will cost you 650,000 naira to buy 100 bags of rice. But right now, the same 10 bags of rice cost almost 1 million naira. That's how bad Nigeria has become. In 2014, if you have $1 million in your account, you have over $6,000. Now, if you have $1 million in your account, you have about $600. That's how bad Nigeria have been under the APC administration in the last 10 years. And that kind of political party should have no business contesting any elections. They have no business presenting candidates, because all they have done in the last 10 years is drag Nigeria back. They have nothing they have done in Edo. They can't point to one thing that they have done in Edo in the last 10 years. The PDP can tell you that they built the Benin bypass, that they built the Benin Ofosu road, that they did this, they did that, that they improved the UBTH and all of that. But the APC in the last 10 years cannot point to one thing that they've done for Edo people. You know, is it the Benin Auchi road that they abandoned? Is it the Benin Ofosu road that the Ofosu to Lagos side that they abandoned? Nothing they can point to in Edo that they have done for Edo people. So why should such political party be asking for a vote from the people of Edo State? Why should such party should be asking for vote?
All right, for us, there's this feeling that many of the economic challenges we have today in the country were actually challenges that were incubated by the PDP, particularly those years that they held sway in the country. If they had laid a solid foundation, probably won't be where we are today. Take, for example, the issue of fuel subsidy was a major issue, at the time that the PDP had the opportunity to remove. Maybe by now would have been free from these bondage of fuel imports and what have you, but they didn't. And that, for some people, has brought us to where we are today. I'd like to get your reaction to that.
Yes, Sonny, I completely disagree with that school of thought. When the PDP was in government, what was the cost of subsidy? The PDP was paying close to about 200 billion naira annually to subsidize petrol. Today, even under the Tinubu administration, where they said they've removed subsidy, they are still paying subsidy 20 times what the PDP was paying as at that time. So it shows that you see these people, what they are saying about the PDP is not correct, because under the PDP, Nigerians can tell Nigerians know that their lives were better under the PDP. And you see, in as much as they will tell you about subsidy, what was the cost of subsidy at that time? If you look at the cost of subsidy at that time and compare it to what the cost of subsidy was under the same Buhari administration, and now you see that there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. And even when PDP was subsidizing petrol was being sold at 87 naira a litre. And when the PDP even tried to remove that subsidy, to move petrol to 141 naira a litre, it is the likes of the current president, Tinubu, who protested. The former president Buhari, who protested that the subsidy should remain, But when Tinubu came to office, the first thing he announced was removal of subsidy. But even after removing subsidy and saying that he was going to invest the money from subsidy into investment in education, investment in healthcare, investment in road, they have been able to do nothing. In the last 1 year, Nigerians have become poorer under the APC administration. Nigerians are now struggling to feed. Nigerians cannot even afford the basic necessities anymore. The things that Nigerians could easily afford under the PDP administration, they can't afford it under the APC administration anymore. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians under the PDP administration, life was better. Today, Nigeria is now the poverty capital of the world under the APC administration. In the last 10 years, Nigerians have become so poor that many people cannot even afford to buy a bag of rice. And look at the APC, despite removing subsidies, there will be no increase, no increase in wages since they came in the last 10 years. It was only when the Governor Obaseki increased minimum wage that the president was now forced to even increase the minimum wage at the national level. It's such an embarrassment, Sonny. That we are where we are today. Everybody knows the reason why Nigeria is where we are today, and that reason is because of the mismanagement of the country by the APC in the last 10 years. And such political parties should have no business contesting any elections. If we're in a sane country, the APC should be going around, house to house, door to door, apologizing to Nigerians, apologizing to Edo people for ruining their lives, for mismanaging the country, and for causing so much hardship for the lives of Edo people.
This election is not a national election. It's a sub-national government election, state election. And to a large extent, some of these issues that you have raised will not really resonate with the people of Edo State in this election. I'll get you to react to that, but I know that we've been trying to get Dr. Mosafe to join us. Somehow he had a technical problem, but I think he's back now. Dr. Mosafe, yes, Fares raised the issue of the state of affairs in the country in terms of the hunger, the poverty, the poor infrastructures and all of that, which is dotting the length and breadth of the country. And he's of the opinion that this is orchestrated by your party at the national level, and that this will have an overbearing effect and impact on the election. Let's get your take on that.
Let me quickly, because I know I may not have followed, but I had other channels through which I was following some of the things that he was saying.
Okay.
And I want to also let Fares know here that the PDP, has been a source of, how would I put it now, a source of propaganda, a source of fake news, a source of, distraction, to the people. And when you come on air and you try to, change the narrative in an attempt to win favor to your side, then the people who obviously are wise, will not buy that. And when you say my candidate is incompetent, my candidate does not have capacity, I just laugh. Listen, my candidate will not be cajoled into appearing on any media platform in an attempt to embarrass him. We have our strategies, and your strategies are different from ours. We are talking to the people. And like I told somebody the other time, there is no polling unit on any media channel. There is no polling unit. The closest polling unit I know to ITV is in Oluku. And in the next 1 hour, APC will be in Oluku campaigning in a rally. I'm sure ITV will be there too. So we will appear. My candidate will appear before the media. But that is the last stage of our campaign. That is the last stage of our strategy. And you will not force him to come and appear on any channel, when he is not, it hasn't gotten to that stage. We have our itinerary, we have our programs, and we are following through our programs. And our program, the very last stage is the media. I will say that this is not a national election. This is Edo 2024. If you will agree with me, you will understand that Edo people will not be judging, will not be voting on the basis of the issues at the national level. They will be judging performance. Edo have had the opportunity of having the APC government in power for 8 years, 8 solid years. Even Obaseki, who was an APC governor in his first 4 years. So if you agree with me, that in the 8 years of Comrade Oshiomhole, Edo witnessed a radical change in infrastructure, in education, in healthcare, even in our social services, all right? And it is on record that it was the last time Edo was beautiful was under the government of Comrade Oshiomhole, when the government engaged in an urban renewal program that brought a light to our cities. When you talk about street lights, you talk about water fountains, you talk about anything that could make the city beautiful. It was Comrade Oshiomhole that brought it. Immediately Oshiomhole left, what happened? Edo degenerated into a state of dirtiness. Today, you will tell me, you will agree with me that Edo is one of the dirtiest states in Nigeria. Go around, go to Ekiosa, go to New Benin Market. As we speak this morning, if you are driving through New Benin Market, you can barely pass through because the traders have invaded the road. All right, and the whole place is dirty. It's stinking. The stench emanating from New Benin Market alone wouldn't want you to make you to even buy things from that market at this point, because you will be afraid that the things you will consume there, may make you sick and all of that. And that is because the government refused to take care of the market. The local government system that could have taken care of the market were bastardized. And in fact, for the largest part of this administration, local government were not allowed to function. Local government system was bastardized. They were, in fact, if you want to talk about governance, good governance ended with Comrade Oshiomhole. And it is so, laughable to hear Fares come here to try to, to bend the issues. The issues are clear. Edo people are smart. Edo people are wise. Edo people know their left from their right. And whether you like it or not, initially they say my candidate does not know how to talk. But is he not talking now? Are you not hearing him talk? Are you not hearing people speak the English that they say he doesn't know how to speak? Is he not talking to Edo people? Has he not been going around from village to village, from semi-urban center to semi-urban center? I don't know what they are talking. Don't worry. By the time my candidate appears on TV, I'm sure Fares will no longer have the mouth to speak.
Okay.
But very soon, I'm sure we'll shut him up. So
all right. We're looking forward to that, Dr. Mosafe. We're looking forward to your candidate appearing on a live TV. I've thrown a challenge to have the first three candidates on Politics Today this forthcoming Saturday for a 20-minute one-on-one. You say you have your strategy that there is no polling unit in any TV station or media platform. I agree with you absolutely, but you are here now engaging the people and the world at large on your party and the principles, agenda, and what have you. If the media wasn't important, I'm sure you wouldn't do that. You probably would have dedicated this time to other things. I think we need to engage the issues frontally. The only way Senator Mondo Okpewolu and your party can show to other people that he has nothing to hide is to face the media. He should face his fears with the media, engage the issues frontally. That's the only way he can prove otherwise that he's not being put forward out there as a stooge, he's not being presented as a poster child for the leadership of the APC to just have somebody they can manipulate and control in power. That's the only way that can be established. We need to get that correctly. But let me quickly go back to Fares Okpare. Fares, quickly speak to us on your expectations in these elections against the background of the level of engagement with Edo people.
Well, Sonny, you see that before I quickly do, let me just quickly touch on something that my brother there, Mosefe, said. He said that that the media cannot cajole their candidates, to come and engage them. You see, he used the word, specifically used the word cajole. That's quite ridiculous that, he makes such statements. And secondly, he said that it was under Adams Oshiomhole that good governance died in Edo State. That's also very ridiculous. Under Adams Oshiomhole, local government workers in the state were being owed 44 months. They were protesting every day at Ring Road. Under Adams Oshiomhole, pensioners were owed, more than 3 years of arrears. There were no promotions of workers. Workers' welfare was zero. Agberos and touts were the ones collecting revenue in Edo. The likes of Akugbe Ventures were the ones, terrorizing innocent market women and bus drivers everywhere in town. They were spending 900 million every month just to buy diesel to power the street lights on just only Airport Road alone. Only Airport Road. They were spending 900 million, monthly. If you go to the civil service, it was generator everywhere. Every offices had to run their own personal generators. Even in government house was on 247 generator. The state was spending close to 4 billion naira monthly just to buy diesel to power government buildings. So for such the president to come and say good governance died under when Dr. Oshiomhole left, is even laughable, because Edo people can see the difference between what they currently have now and what they had before. You go to communities, land grabbers were everywhere, terrorizing people. So we know the difference. We know where we are now as a people. We know where we've arrived over the years, in the last 8 years of Obasanjo's administration. And then now let's us come back to our expectations. You see, we've presented a candidate that have the intellectual capacity to engage Edo people, the intellectual know-how. A candidate that have a history of work, of performance. Aswa Godalo, the PDP candidate, has been chairman of Sterling Bank, have been chairman of Nigerian Breweries, have been chairman of Levant Oil, has been a board member of Heineken, have been a chairman of Nigerian Breweries. You see, you cannot be chairman of so many major corporations if they don't see something spectacular in you. something that is attractive in you. The reason why so many companies have so many corporations, major corporations, even government, because he was also chairman of Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund. That Sovereign Wealth Fund were the one who funded the second Niger Bridge under Buhari administration. You see, so he has been there. He has a history of performance. He has a history of doing things for the people, and he has decided to come in. He's going to present a candidate right now who knows what it takes to attract investment, who knows what it takes to improve the lives of Edo people, who is bold enough to come out, to engage the media, to engage the press, and to articulate his ideas, to sell his vision, to sell his mission, to sell his plans, the pathway to prosperity for all Edo people. He's out there selling it by himself. He's not. Nobody is speaking for him. He's speaking for himself. Even when you go to the rallies, he speaks for himself. You see, that's a clear difference between the APC candidate who goes to rallies and say to people, do you want your mineral? Yeah, do you want your mineral? And all of this, and doesn't even know the difference between a zoo and a museum. Right now, when the APC candidate go out, they ask everybody to turn off their phones. The other day, we saw a video of the APC candidate, in Enya, where they were asking people to turn on to video him because they don't want the video to come out so that people will see the inefficiencies of the way he communicates, the inefficiency in his ideas. It's not just about communication. Arise TV has asked him to come and communicate in Asian language, that they are willing to bring an interpreter. ITV has said that they are willing to bring an interpreter for him. If he cannot speak English, let him come and articulate his ideas in broken English, in pidgin English, or in Eastern language. But the truth is that if you have no ideas, you have no ideas. It's not about your language. There's a difference between ideas. There's a difference between knowing what it takes to lead the people and speaking English. He doesn't know what it takes to lead the people, and he cannot articulate his own ideas. And that's the reason why he's hiding. And there's a difference between our candidate and this candidate, and I thought people should see the difference. People should see that we've presented a candidate that is ready for them, and I thought people should come out on election day and vote the PDP candidate.
Please share your thoughts. Dr. Mustafa, share your thoughts with us on your expectations before we look at the last line of questions for these interactions. Dr. Mustafa.
I would like to start from somewhere. He said during Comrade Oshiomhole's time, land grabbing was everywhere in the state. I want to put it here. I want to say to him, to his face, that the biggest land grabbers that you have in Edo State today is Edo State government. We all know what happened in Okoromi, where people were sacked from their homes. People you declared curfew, dogs to dog curfew. You said there was insecurity. You said there was the court killings and all of that. He hid under that guise and locked down the entire Okoromi and then destroyed people's houses without any form of empathy, without any form of feeling for the people. So when you talk about land grabbing, perhaps maybe in the time past you had individual land grabbers, but what you now have now is government as land grabbers. Well, when you talk about Comrade Oshiomhole, Oshiomhole is an enigmatic figure, somebody who has etched its name in the minds of Edo people, somebody whose works in the past 8 years distinguished him from every other governor that has ever ruled this state. And the only governor that you can place in the class of Oshiomhole is Ambrose Ali and Samuel Bemudia. Other than those two, no other person comes close to Oshiomhole in terms of performance in office. And that is why, till tomorrow, if you see Oshiomhole moving on the streets, you see the rousing reception. You see how people run after him. Children, youths, women, and the elderly, they run after him because of the love they have for him, and because of what he was able to do, in office. The last time myself and Fares faced up on your channel, when we were talking of propaganda, when you hear Fares talk, you see propaganda, everywhere. And that was how he attempted to deceive Edo people the other day, when he said that Monday Okpebholo is not the owner of interweb Satcom. Because he was from home and he was showing Edo people, this is my phone, I just browsed, this is my phone. Monday Okpebholo is not listed on interweb Satcoms. But I didn't have the opportunity to respond to him that day. But thank God we are facing up again, and I have the opportunity to tell him to his face that he lied to Edo people the way he's lying right now. So I am telling you that my candidate, Monday Okpebholo, is a man who is ready to serve. He's a man that has the intellectual capacity. He's a man that has the competence. He's a man that has, you know, the grace to rule. He's a man that has the grace to serve. The man is service personified. He is coming to Edo to rejig governance. He's coming to Edo to show to the people how governance is supposed to operate. The man is coming with a vision, a mission to recalibrate the democracy, to recalibrate governance, and deliver the dividends of democracy to the doorstep of the people. The man is not coming to speak grammar. Grammar does not provide good governance. Grammar does not provide dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the people. Grammar cannot actually, change the living conditions of our people. What is needed is love, is empathy, is ability to be able to use the resources of the people for the greatest number of people. The man is coming with, a mentality of service to the people. My expectations, as far as this election is concerned, is that Edo people who already know the difference between light and darkness, between day and night, have also been able to x-ray these two candidates, not able to, the three leading candidates. And as far as I'm concerned, judging from what we have seen on the ground, we have been campaigning, we have been going from street to street, we have been going from village to village. We have not, the other people have been speaking English. We have been campaigning. And from what we are seeing on the ground, from the feedback that we got from the people, every point that we went to campaign, every place that we went to campaign, every community that we went to campaign, every groups that we went to campaign to, is that Monday Okpebholo is the man, the right man. Is that Monday Okpebholo is the most competent of all the candidates on display. Is that Monday Okpebholo is the only man that they can trust to deliver them out of the dungeons of Governor Obaseki has put them. He's the only man that he has the ability, the capacity to retool, governance and deliver the dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the people. They believe him because they've heard him speak. They see the way he speaks with empathy. They see the way he speaks with love. And they know that the man is not faking it. They know that the man is real. They know that the man doesn't need to try to convince them with bogus English. They have seen the man, they've seen through him. And I can tell you, from Edo North to Edo Central to Edo South, it is the same thing. Monday Okpebholo is the only candidate that has the clear pathway to victory, and he will win this election overwhelmingly.
Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. But I'm just wondering, Dr. Mustafa, when you said grammar doesn't end hunger and all of that, then you said all the lofty things that you said. If you didn't have the capacity, the ability, and the innate qualities to be able to articulate all of these things and present them like you're presenting them, how would it have been in terms of making the people to understand what you are saying, Dr. Mustafa? I'm just wondering, if you didn't have the capacity to speak grammar like you're doing, how would you have been able to communicate all of these things to Edo people like you are doing now? But that's on the side. Let me get to Fares Okpere. Fares, you just give us your perspectives on what to expect in this election. That's on the positive side, but let's look forward to some other issues, particularly as it relates to because I think Dr. Mustafa talked about, he referenced something you mentioned some time ago about his principal having an ICT company and all of that, and he just referenced it that you were quick to Google it and say it's not available, it's not there. I'd like to get your reaction on that.
Well, you see, the other day when I talked about the fact that the APC candidate they said he has a company, and then he came on air to say that he was the owner of Interweb and this and that, and that it was a big company and this and that. And then we looked up at the company. His name was not even listed in that company. first of all. And secondly, the said company, despite the fact that his name was not even listed number one, was a company that I personally traveled to Abuja and Jos to go and do my findings on the company, and found out that they were a shop. They were renting a shop in a store in Jos, and I posted the store where they were renting in Jos, just a store that they had in a building in somewhere in Jos that they call that it was a multi-billion-naira company. You see, these guys, they continue to tell lies, and the reason why they continue to tell lies is because they've presented a candidate that cannot speak for himself. If they had a candidate that can articulate ideas, a candidate that can crystallize his own ideas, they will not be paying so much emphasis into selling lies to Edo people. What they've been doing all along this election is continue to sell lies, to Edo people, while hiding their candidates. Ask them why they are hiding the candidate. Why is the candidate not able to come out and engage the media? That's the basic. You want to be governor of a state, you should be bold enough to come out and speak on ITV, go to the radio, even if it's speaking English. Oshiomhole Godalo has been on radio several times. On this morning on Man Around Town, and he spoke in pidgin English. He spoke in pidgin English. So the question of English does not arise, because the most times that he went to radio, he spoke in pidgin English. So why is the candidate of the APC not even able to come out and even speak to the media, even in pidgin English? The reason is because he doesn't know what to say to Edo people. He has been in the Senate for over a year. He has never raised the motion. He has never supported a bill. He has never done anything. And secondly, when he said that the candidate of their party, that the candidate had a company and this, if you go to the INEC, you go to INEC office in Kubahi, you will see the certified true copy of the documents that he sent to INEC, the forms that he filled. In the place of previous job done, he wrote NIL, nil. In the place of companies where he has worked before or where he has managed, he wrote NIL. So if you said that he had a successful company, he was running a company, he will not write NIL in his place of work. What they are trying to sell to those people is what we call a glorified 419. That's what they're trying to sell to those people. And we should all stand up and ask the right questions. The media should ask questions. The media should do their job. I'm challenging the media in Edo. They should go to INEC and get the certified true copy and publish it and ask him why he wrote. If you say you have a company, then why did you write NIL? Why did you write nil when they asked for your previous job? When in the same form that Oshiomhole Godalo filled, when he was asked where he worked before, he quoted all the companies where he had managed or where he had been directors. He quoted all of them. The same thing with Olumide Akpata. When he was asked in his own form where he worked before, he quoted the law firm where he worked before. But the only person who wrote nil as his previous company or where he worked before was the APC candidate, because he had never worked before. Never at the time he had worked before. So let's not allow these people to sell us, something that they are not proud of.
Okay, Dr. Mosefe, let's go back to where we started from, because we're just on the verge of concluding this conversation. I'm wondering, you started by saying that the wife of the state governor triggered the issues of personal attacks, and that when you are living in a glass house, I mean, it's advised that you don't throw stones, because you can't really tell how the stones that will come back in return will hit you. But I'm wondering, there are women in all the political parties who are spearheading different aspects of the campaigns. I mean, there's always a women's wing in every political party. Couldn't we have had a situation wherein the women's wing of the APC responded to that issue? How come is the state leader of the party, Comrade Oshiomhole, that now took this responsibility to engage the governor's wife on what she said in a campaign ground? Don't we have women in the APC? I'm aware of the national woman leader of the APC is from Edo State, Dr. Mary Idire Alile. She's a woman of excellence, and she's got articulation in terms of communicating the issues. So I'd like to get your take on this. How did this now end up with the state leader of the party engaging an issue raised by another woman when there are other women in the party who could have engaged these issues?
Okay, before I respond to that, I'll quickly respond to Fares again. When he lied that Monday Okpebholo is not the owner of interweb satcoms. I think the problem Fares is having now is not whether, I think it's a problem of ignorance. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows, you know, because I listened to him keenly, and I really understand where he's coming from. He has been checking interweb, not interweb platforms. I think that is where the problem is. Fares has been searching interweb, not interweb platforms. I want to say here, and I want to reaffirm that Monday Okpebholo is the owner, chief executive, managing director of interweb satcoms.
So how come, Dr. Masabe, how come in his form of occupation, or where he has worked before, in his form that is with INEC, you have all of these spaces filled with nil, and now you are coming to say he is? So how? I'm trying to understand that. Yes, go ahead.
That's what I want to make you understand. My candidate can decide to fill anything on his form. He can decide to say, I'm the owner of Chapman Computers. He can decide to put there, I'm the owner of Interweb Satcoms. He's at liberty to do that. The law allows him to do that. There's no part of the law that says that you must fill everything that you own, not your assets.
So what is the evidence that he has the experience to do the job? What is the experience? What is the evidence that he has the experience? He has the work experience. What's the evidence? Is he you saying it, or him presenting the relevant documents to establish that?
Dr. Okosun, I think this is my time to speak. You did not.
All right, go ahead.
So I think you should try and be
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
In your anchoring.
What
I'm saying is that my candidate is at liberty to fill the form the way he chooses, as far as it does not contravene the law. The man has chosen not to tell the whole world that he owns the company. But if you are not sure, if you feel I'm lying, you can as well Google Interweb Satcoms Limited. Just write it there. Who owns Interweb Satcoms Limited? The name will pop up. So if Fares decides to be ignorant, I take my responsibility to bring him back so that he will not deceive Edo people, or maybe through his ignorance, also mislead others. That is for that. As for my candidate has never spoken on the floor of the Senate, that is still not true. Some weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago, we all are aware, ITV also, I'm sure ITV picked the news. My candidate moved the motion on the floor of the House about the state of Benin Abuja Road. Yet, Fares will come here and lie to Edo people that he has never spoken on the floor of the Senate. When he was talking on the floor of the Senate, what was he doing? I don't know how Fares will want to describe that. ITV, I'm sure, on the Duke Okosun, you can play back that video of how my candidate moved that motion on the state of Benin Abuja Road. The same candidate that doesn't know how to talk is the chairman, Senate Committee on Public Procurement, a feat that many of their people in their party have never achieved in all of their years in the Senate. My own candidate is the chairman, Senate Committee on Public Procurement. If he's not competent, if he doesn't have the capacity, I'm not sure the Senate would deem him fit to be appointed into that very important committee of the Senate. About the women in my party, the response of Comrade Oshiomhole was a spontaneous reaction to the very, how would I put this down? You are the one that you are forcing me to continue to comment on this. I really, like I said, I hate to comment on the challenges of people in life.
Okay.
All right. I most times I do, because I've had my own challenges in life myself. I've had my own personal temptations. So I'm very careful to, discuss people and their challenges in life. But I am saying that the comments of the First Lady about the other two not having wives, the other two, I want you to underline that word. You can play back that video for Edo people to see.
Okay.
The other two do not have wives. You were mocking the other marital challenges. You were mocking them with their challenges in life. You don't mock people. And I'm not saying that Comrade Oshiomhole was right by mocking her with her childless.
Okay, I think I get you when you say it was a spontaneous reaction. I get you when you say that, but that's the much time will permit us, Dr. Mosafe. Let me thank you very specially for your time, and let me also thank Fares Okberi for your time. I know you guys are ready for the campaign activities today, so we'll let you go, and thank you again and again for availing your time to engage us on these issues. But we're still throwing that challenge, or I'm still throwing that challenge to the APC candidate, PDP candidate, and Labour Party candidate. Join me on Politics Today, this Saturday, and speak to Edo people in the language that you're most comfortable in. English, Pidgin, Esan, Edo, Yoruba, whatever. Edo is a state that has people of different tribes. They will understand you. So we have expanded the scope now. Nobody will have an excuse, okay?